All right. Hey, what's going on, sirs and madams of the internet? This is Broseph of the Bro Gamers, and I have a special partner in crime here today. If you want to introduce yourself.
I am Lady from the Lady Gamer.
And for those of you that are not aware, the Bro Gamers and the Lady Gamer are official partner pages, and this is our first co-op activity that we're doing together, first of many to come. For her fans that may not be familiar with me, I am Broseph, and one of the reasons I started the Bro Gamers was that there's a gajillion female pages, and there really aren't many guy ones, so I thought I would throw a little bro force out there, and it apparently worked with X amount of people. And I'm level 29. That's basically 29 years old in Nerd Talk. I have two little bros of my own that I raise, along with my wife, and I'm an avid gamer, and I prefer co-op over competitive. Lady, your turn.
Well, I am Lady, and I started the Lady Gamer because while there are a ton of female pages out there, most of them are just pictures of boobs, and I wanted to have a female page with more than just boobs and butts. Just a lot of really good gamer content for both guys and girls. I am 20 years old. I'm a network engineer, so I'm just a super techie. I'm in everything nerdy pretty much. And I just love to game. That's pretty much my entire life. So that's me.
And I would like to add a little disclaimer here for everybody. This is not that we are anti-boobs. For those of you that have boobs, it's just the focus of both of our pages is gaming in a more pure sense, not that we don't hate people for boobs. You get the idea of where I'm going with that, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I love boobs. Boobs are good.
See, you can quote that right there. Lady Gamer loves herself some boobs. Now, what we talked about starting with is just some general game news to discuss. The biggest, I think, is the new Xbox reveal. Lady, did you want to start off with your thoughts on what you want to see with the next Xbox, since ladies first?
Sure. I have heard a lot of talk about the new Xbox, and a lot of good talk and bad talk. Kind of, some people really, really don't think it's going to be good at all, and then others are like super adamant about it. I personally think that it is going to be pretty decent. I don't know if I'm going to like it because honestly, I'm super into my Xbox now, so I don't know if I'll be ready to make the switch, but I'm definitely excited to see what they have to offer. I really hope that they don't stick with that not allowing you to use game thing, because that would just be a complete overlook on their side. What about you?
Of course, Bro's turn here. In regards to what I've heard, the best thing I've heard, I just read today, heavy rumors about Alan Wake 2 being an early window title for the next Xbox. I will buy that shit day one if Alan Wake or Killer Instinct, another rumor title, appears in the early lifespan. In regards to the worst things I've heard, as Lady already here mentioned, not being able to play used games, I don't think that's true. I think that'd be career suicide for Microsoft, but we'll see what they do. And the always online shit, I would really, really run to a PS4.
Yeah.
And exactly. I mean, who wants to be forced to be online, especially here in America? We don't have the best internet compared to like Europe or other regions with actual organized internet setup. And if the storm goes out, your power goes out, any kind of, well, not the power, that would fuck everything else up. But you get the general gist of what I'm going for here. You're forced to be online or you can't use any of the shit you paid for, and that is a load of bollocks, as you in the Euro might say.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, especially if you look at some of the people that maybe don't have as much money, but maybe their parents got them a PS4 as like a birthday gift or some really big gift, but they actually don't even have internet in their house, then they're just kind of screwed. So I could see how that would be a problem. I know a couple people that don't necessarily have internet, but they have, Xboxes and PS3s, so I see where that could be a problem.
See, actually, that's a very good point. I know a buddy of mine, I've known her online for a while now, but she games offline. If you have a system like that that requires you to play always online, you essentially are going to pay for a brick, which is obviously going to piss off a lot of gamers out there. The other issue for the next Xbox is I'm a big Xbox Live Arcade addict. I own like 80-plus games on the arcade. 60 of those maxed, actually. I love myself some arcade. And it might not be, backwards compatible for the download games. We might have to just play our Xbox or just shit out of luck.
Yes, I have heard that it is official that it is not going to be backwards compatible. So I am not thrilled about that because I just don't want to have a bunch of systems. I mean, it's cool to have a bunch of systems, but I don't want to have them all hooked up and actively be using all of my systems, I guess. It just seems like if I have to have my Xbox 360 and my new Xbox at the same time, that's just outrageous.
And it's also bad for families that own all the systems, and you have to have a Wii U, PS4, Xbox, 720 or whatever the hell they're calling on it, an Xbox 360. I mean, living room space, you only have so much. I don't think you want an entire cabinet dedicated to consoles.
Yeah, no, definitely. I currently have a Wii U, a PS3, an Xbox 360, and my Super Nintendo all out, like, on a cabinet space, and it's already outrageous. It's getting ridiculous. I don't want another one.
Another thing that me and Lady here, we posted community questions for everybody to go ahead and ask to give us some various topics to discuss. And I was figured that, we could each pick a few of the questions that we thought would make for good party chat. And Lady, once again, ladies first, trying to be courteous here. If you want to go ahead and lead off.
Definitely. Let me pull up one of the questions. Okay, our first question here comes from the page Mewtwo, the Mad Scientist, and his question was, what are your favorite obscure games or series? And I guess what he means by that is just a game that maybe not a lot of people know about or a game that's kind of been forgotten. And
okay.
I guess this one's kind of hard for me. I guess one game that I really like that nobody ever talks about is Rampage. Do you remember Rampage?
Are you talking about like on a Nintendo where like a giant gorilla and a lizard ate people out of buildings?
Yes, that game, Rampage.
Yes,
you just stomped on things, and it was just the most rewarding thing ever because you would always fully complete it if you just ate everybody and stomped on stuff.
Oh man, that brings me back. Any other ones that you wanted to list? I don't want to cut you short if you had other ones you wanted to mention.
No, I've actually been thinking about this question all day, and that was really the only one that I could come up with.
All right, I think we should give her a quick, golf clap. She did try to at least come up with a few
obscure ones there. Guys.
All right, I will try to go from a different angle then. I would define, I guess, obscure titles as ones that aren't very mainstream. They don't necessarily sell a lot, but they're not failures because their fan base is smaller. I would go with the Disgaea series on the PlayStation. They started off on the PlayStation 2 with Disgaea Hour of Darkness, and they're actually prepping a direct sequel, Disgaea 2, or actually Disgaea Dimensions 2, as you were. It's a very quirky Japanese series, very anime-inspired in its presentation, and I know like 3 people I can talk about the game with at best, which kind of sucks. But it is just so much fun. I mean, talk about, killing zombies with horse wieners. They talk about pinwins that explode. Yeah, exactly. There are demonic angels. It's a lot of weird shit in that world, but it's all presented very well and very humorous. So that would be my answer to that question. Thank you, Mewtwo, you mad scientist.
Yes. Thank you.
And actually, I have one here that from my page. Let's see here. What do you think about blaming various issues, misbehavior in children, for example, on violent video games? And that comes courtesy of Kristen Matt.
Do you want to take a swing at that question first, since I went first last time?
Oh, yeah, I was going with the whole, trying to be courteous for the online people's strategy. But no, I'll go first. That's fine. As a parent of 2 boys, 4 and 8, I think it's an absolute load of shit. And nothing irritates me more than people blaming violent video games for children's behavior. I can tell you right now, it is parents who are jackasses that are having to do with children and misbehavior. The parents who buy Grand Theft Auto and then complain about the content. The parents who don't monitor their kids and how they're behaving or how they're doing in school. The parents who don't look at the games that their kids are playing. The amount of irresponsibility out there on behalf of the parents who are enabling these kids to play games they may not be able to handle, that's a fault of the parent. That is not a fault of the game makers. If you don't attend to your kid and what they participate in, that is your fault 100%. No excuses from Broseph here. That'd be my answer in a nutshell. Your turn.
No, I agree with you 100%. Games have ratings for a reason. If you go out and buy your kid an M-rated game when they're 8 years old, that is your own fault. I mean, I'm not a parent, but when I have a kid, I can guarantee that even though Mortal Kombat is my favorite game, I probably wouldn't sit my 6-year-old daughter down and have her watch me play it. That seems like a bad idea. And I mean, people are going to look for all kinds of different reasons to blame whatever they can for the issues that we're having. I mean, look at all the people that are like, oh, somebody shot somebody, we should blame the gun. Or like, oh, somebody got stabbed, let's just not have knives anymore. People don't want to blame the main cause, which is people. People will always be evil, but they'll always be good too. So you gotta look at it from that perspective. But no, I don't think video games have anything to do with why someone went out and mass murdered people. I mean, people they blame it on TV and movies too, but it's just, you could look at the news and see worse stuff on the news than you do on video games and in movies. That's my answer.
Goddamn right. And one thing that you mentioned, actually, I thought was a good point. You mentioned about your 6-year-old daughter, the hypothetical situation of her playing an M-rated game. I do think that every parent, should make the call appropriate to their kid. I know, like, on a personal note, I think some M games really aren't M. Like, I think Halo's a great example. My 8-year-old can play Halo, loves it. I don't love it, so I have to suffer a little when I play it with him. But he handles the content just fine. But there's other mature games, like God of War, that I think are actually M, and I won't let him touch those. So I think it does fall upon the parents to not just look at the rating, but pull up a YouTube video, or actually, heaven forbid, watch your child and spend time with them and see what they're doing. Crazy idea, but just my 2 cents there.
No, and I definitely agree with that. I mean, games like Halo, or even necessarily Call of Duty, I don't think those games come across as really bad. I mean, yes, it's war, but that's, like, not as bad as necessarily like what I'm saying with Mortal Kombat, where they, like, rip people's lungs out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
exactly.
a little bit worse. But, yeah, I agree with you. I think that if a parent would just sit down and watch the game, maybe, or play it, like, they might get a better understanding of what their kids are doing.
Goddamn right. USA. Your turn for the next question selection.
Okay, the next question I have comes from Raymond Dason. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I am not that great at names. And the question is, if you could be trapped in any game with infinite lives, which game would it be? I guess for me, if I could be trapped in any game, I would probably have to say, that is a hard one. Okay.
So didn't you think about this earlier in the day?
I actually didn't think about this one, no. Honestly, and this is going to sound really dumb, guys, but I would want to be trapped in Yoshi's Island because there's Yoshis everywhere, and that would make my whole life if I could just go up and find a Yoshi and, like, ride him. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, to each their own with that one. I'm going to have to cop out and give a tie. There are 2 games I would equally want to live in, if I understood the question correctly. One would be Disgaea. As I mentioned, one of my favorite series. Just a humorous, happy, goofy world. Your violence is very comical. I think you can get away with a lot in that universe. And the other honorable mention would be Dead or Alive Extreme Beach. I think that's for obvious reasons why any guy would want to be stuck in that world. So I don't think I need to elucidate much on that one. That would be the bros answer. Let's see here. I think we have time for 1 or 2 more. This one, courtesy of David Miller, which I love this one. Kudos to you, David. Should there be an age limit and or some sort of IQ test for headset use? I tell you right now, I would pay extra money. I'd pay $100 a year on live right now if you put in 13 or older with an IQ of 100 or higher. You got my money. I'll throw my wallet at the screen now. You make that shit happen. What about you, lady?
No, yes, there should be, because honestly, from a female's perspective, I want to just, like, go into my TV and, like, just take a katana and, like, start slicing up, like, 13-year-olds. I can't stand it whenever I get online and someone's like, oh, hey, are you a girl? Are you a boy? Do you want to have sex with me? No, I don't have sex with you. Stop. No, don't talk to me anymore. Like, don't bother me when I'm gaming. If you want to, like, talk strategy or have, like, a normal conversation with me, let's do it. If not, just go away. Like, I don't even play with the headset anymore. Unless I'm in a party chat, it just, no, I don't even use my headset. Like, just don't talk to me.
Two things that you just made me think of right there. One, that is proof that it isn't games that make people violent, it's people, because it's the assholes that she's dealing with that makes her want to chop people up, not the game itself. And two, as a little public service announcement, bros out there, don't make the rest of us bros look like douchebags. She probably doesn't want to see your penis. I doubt she wants to have sex with you when she just meets you. I mean, the kitchens and sandwich lines, if you can't help yourself for being an asshole, that's one thing, but at least try to be witty and humorous. I've heard those lines. I'm sure how many she has heard. It's just not funny. It wasn't really funny back in 2000. It's 2013. The joke is dead. It's been dead. That poor thing has been beaten beyond recognition. So, not advocating being a dick, but at least be a witty one if you're going to do so.
I know, I agree. If someone, I get the kitchen jokes, okay, you don't want me in your kitchen. I can't cook for shit. You don't want me in your kitchen. And honestly, that's okay. Kitchen jokes don't bother me. The sexist jokes don't bother me. But yeah, be funny about them. Make me laugh at least. Don't, you make your own damn sandwich, bitch.
See, there you go. Yep. You heard right there. From the lady's perspective, you can be a bit of an ass, but be witty, and preferably not lewd, if possible. How many questions did you want to field here from this point, lady?
We'll just go with one more. I think is good.
All right. Then did you want to take the final one?
Sure. Let me pick a good one to end on.
You can hear the wheels turning right now, you can see the loading screen for this question in front of you.
There are a lot of really good ones. Okay, I do like this one. This question comes from Tim Robbins on my page, and his question was, are there any famous classic games that you ended up playing really late, even several years later after it came out, but it's been a really popular game? I actually picked this question because yesterday I started playing the God of War series. I've just never touched it before, and I finally picked it up, and it's blowing my mind. I love it. I'm playing the very first one, and I am enjoying it. I refuse to get the new one until I play through all of them, but the new one looks so good that I really, really want to play through the series and get it.
Oh, very good answer. On my end, I was late to two very important parties. The first one is the Chrono Trigger party. I did not play Chrono Trigger when it was first on the Super Nintendo. I played it when it was re-released in a collection on the PlayStation 1, and I definitely saw what I missed out on, so shame on me. And the other one would be Portal. I did not play that one for years. I, past all the cake jokes being fresh, past all the references. And it was a very interesting game. It was an entertaining one, but I was late to the party on that. Shame on me, once again.
Portal is probably one of my favorite games. I'm not sure if you can see it, but if you look over in the corner, there is a turret in the background. I have a turret in my house from Portal. It's fantastic.
Can you scooch a little bit to the side so we can get... wrong side. There you go.
There
you go. Awesome. If you want to do a Vanna White thing, there you go.
Everything's flipped on my computer, so I feel silly because I don't know which way to go.
And on my end, guys, I'm not using a camera right now. That is a courtesy to all of you. I appreciate your eyesight, so I am hiding in the shadows of the bro layer, so you're welcome for that one.
We'll get him to come out eventually.
There's a joke or two to make there that I'm totally going to leave alone for them. But yeah, anyways, is there any last thing you wanted to touch up before we finish our pilot program here, our first test?
Did you want to do a cosplay shout out like you had mentioned?
See, and look at this. Every guy needs a good woman to work with them because they have better memories than most of us do. Thank you for that. I will take this week's cosplay mention. She will take next week. We'll do the whole sharing is caring thing. The first cosplay, when I was looking around for one to share on my page, that just absolutely blew me away, was the Lady KO cosplay. She did a freaking awesome Angela cosplay. You should go ahead and check her out, www.facebook.com/KOCosplay. I mean, the detail she takes in her cosplays is just, I mean, I'm trying to think of a good word good enough to actually, give you the imagery of how good it is, but it's just stellar cosplay as she does. And a big distinction I've seen in the cosplay world is some tend to do horseplay, as we called it in an interview I did with her, that a lot of women, who cosplay may want to just show themselves off more than the costumes of the characters. Her actual costumes focus on the characters. A lot of it is, ones that are covered up, and then for ones that aren't covered up, she does it tastefully and doesn't focus on the sensuality end. Not that I don't think there's an audience for that, but I tend to appreciate the ones a little more that actually have the gaming spirit behind their work. So if you guys want some kick-ass cosplay, please go check her out.
Okay, so I think that about wraps it up for our first ever party chat. And we thank you guys all for watching. Hopefully you tune in next time.
And don't forget, if you're on the Lady Gamers page, come check us out at the Bro Gamers. And for those of you from the Bro Gamers, go ahead and go like the Lady Gamer. Hopefully between our two pages will be all the Facebook pages you need for all your nerdy gamer needs. Have a good one, people.